Welcome to this explainer. So, have you ever pulled your passport out of the bottom of your bag only to find it curled, stained, or, well, worse? Man, it is a sinking feeling, right? But you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to take the State Department's incredibly strict replacement protocol and turn it into a totally clear, stress-free rescue mission for your ruined passport. Let's dive right into this incredibly relatable nightmare. I mean, finding your most critical travel document waterlogged after a trip through the washing machine, that can send absolutely anyone into a panic. But learning exactly how to navigate the strict government bureaucracy is key here, so you don't make any critical errors that delay your replacement. The rules? Yeah, they're rigid, but I promise once you see them laid out, it all makes perfect sense. To get you out of this mess, we're taking the State Department's official 11-step manual and breaking it down into a super simple 4-phase survival guide. We'll cover assessing the damage, gathering your crucial paperwork, the in-person appointment, and finally, processing and final steps.
All right, let's kick things off with Phase 1, assessing the passport damage, also known as triage.
This phase is really all about figuring out if you actually need a replacement. So before you start panicking over a slightly bent cover or a frayed edge, we've got to ask, just how bad is the situation? Did your passport take a swim? Look, the government doesn't actually expect your passport to look pristine for all 10 years of its lifespan, but there is a very hard line between a well-traveled document and an officially invalid one. And the government draws a very exact line here. According to the State Department, simple, normal wear and tear, things like a slight bend or slightly fanned visa pages, that generally doesn't require a replacement. You're fine. But if you're dealing with water damage or stains, mold, significant tears, missing or torn visa pages, hole punches, or, this is a big one, any unauthorized markings on that personal information page, well, your passport is officially considered significantly damaged, meaning it is literally no longer valid for travel. Now, here is an absolutely crucial point. You must resist the urge to play arts and crafts. I know it's incredibly tempting to just grab some clear tape to fix a torn page, but seriously, do not repair it. The State Department explicitly warns against using glue, tape, laminating, or any other DIY method to fix the damage. Doing that is only going to make things worse. You are required to keep the damaged passport and submit it exactly as is along with your replacement application. And just a quick heads up, the Department of State might actually keep that damaged passport once you submit it. Moving right along to Phase 2, gathering your crucial paperwork. This is all about preparation. So, now that we know you definitely need a new one, it's time to gather up your documents. You might be wondering, why can't I just mail my old passport in like a normal renewal using the standard form DS-82? Well, it turns out the State Department protocol explicitly notes that significant damage completely disqualifies you from that normal mail-in process. Bummer, I know. Instead, you absolutely must apply in person using Form DS-11, which is the standard application for a U.S. passport. Alongside that DS-11 form, you're going to have to do a little bit of homework. The State Department specifically requires a signed and dated statement explaining the damaged, or as they call it, mutilated condition of your book. You just need to explain how it was damaged, when you noticed it, and exactly what part got ruined. It doesn't have to be a novel, though. In fact, the State Department provides this exact, super concise example. Just state the basic facts, sign it, date it, and you're good to go. Okay, this checklist right here, this acts as your absolute lifeline before you walk out the door. You're going to need that completed DS-11, the actual damaged passport itself, your signed explanatory statement, a valid government-issued photo ID, photocopies of those required docs, and one standard U.S. passport photo. But pay really close attention to that proof of U.S. citizenship requirement. Normally, your old passport serves as that proof, right? Well, if your damaged passport is so destroyed that it can't even be used to verify your citizenship, the Department of State might actually require you to bring entirely separate evidence, like a birth certificate, so keep that in mind.
That brings us to Phase 3, the in-person appointment, execution time.
With your paperwork perfectly organized and double-checked, you are finally ready to leave the house. But remember, because of the damage, you can't just drop this in a mailbox or wander into any random office. You have to submit this application in person at an authorized passport acceptance facility. These are typically located in specific post offices, local libraries, clerks of court, and other authorized municipal buildings. But wait, stop right there. Before we go any further, I need to point out the biggest gotcha of this entire explainer. If you sign that DS-11 form at home while you're filling it out, you will literally ruin your application. No joke. The State Department guide has a massive warning about this. Do not sign Form DS-11 until the passport acceptance agent explicitly tells you to sign it. The whole reason you have to wait to use your pen is because the acceptance agent has a very specific set of legal duties they're required to perform. They have to thoroughly review your documents, formally verify your identification, administer a required legal oath, and then, and only then, watch you physically sign the DS-11 form right in front of them. After that whole shebang, they'll officially accept your application and collect your fees. Speaking of fees, to finish up your appointment, you're going to need to pay up. For an adult applying with a DS-11, a standard passport book carries an application fee of $130. A passport card is $30, or if you want both, it's $160. But notice that acceptance fee there, that $35 facility fee is completely mandatory for everyone applying in person. Finally, if you're in a total rush and need this replacement fast, they offer an optional expedited service, which currently runs an additional $60. And that brings us to Phase 4, processing and final steps. We are finally at the finish line. You've gathered the docs, survived the bureaucracy, passed the agent's review, and paid your fees. Huge relief, right? At the end of your appointment, the agent sends off your entire packet, the DS-11, your old damaged passport, your explanatory statement, the photo, ID copies, supporting documents, and fees straight to the U.S. Department of State for processing. From there, well, you're kind of left playing the waiting game. But hey, you aren't completely in the dark. You can actually track your passport application status online through the Department of State's portal. If they need anything else from you, they'll reach out. Otherwise, you just sit back and wait to receive your shiny, newly issued replacement passport right in your mailbox. We've covered exactly how to fix the problem, but it all starts with actually knowing you have one. Seriously, I want you to go check your passport right now. Dig it out, look at the edges, check those visa pages, and inspect the cover. Because catching a slight tear or some hidden water stand today and handling it using this exact framework is vastly better than being turned away at the airport tomorrow. So, what does yours look like? Thanks for joining me for this explainer and safe travels.